Welcome back to more Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Last time, we went through the Golden Dash Cup, so this time, we're moving on to the second cup of the first DLC wave. This time, I think we'll actually switch things up a little bit and go with my other main character in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Rosalina.
Let's go!
I think I'm going to stick with the same cart build though. Alright, so next up is the Lucky Cat Cup. We're starting out with another Mario Kart Tour track, Tokyo Blur. Compared to Paris Promenade, this isn't as exciting, I find. It's a little bit more straightforward, but it isn't bad. So yeah, we are now playing as Rosalina, so this might actually cause problems because character weight classes in this game are classified by height. So Rosalina is actually in one of the upper classes, so the handling of the cart might be a little bit different, so switching between these two characters might cause problems. I think Yoshi is like a middleweight character. In some games he's actually a lightweight character. Yeah, in general, Tokyo Blur isn't bad, but it's just a little bit more like generic compared to something like Paris Promenade. In general, I also feel like the Mario Kart Tour tracks are relatively short, like that was already one lap. But also, I'm pretty sure in the original, the tracks were only like 2 laps as well, which kind of makes sense for a mobile game where you're like having to like either use a touchscreen or a gyro tilting to steer. It might make more sense to kind of not have super long tracks, like, you know, a full race of N64 Rainbow Road with like gyro might be a little much. I kind of still wish that the actual Switch version of N64 Rainbow Road had not been 1 lap, because it's almost too short. Alright, so now there are thwomps on the path. I want to say we're actually going a different way as well. Like, I think we went the other way previously. So yeah, we have this little gate there, but beyond that, yeah, it's not nearly as different compared to the route that you end up taking in Paris Promenade, where you're literally going backwards during the final lap. This is a little bit more straightforward, but yeah, it's still not a bad track. It's just one of the more forgettable ones, which almost is more of a testament to how relatively solid this first DLC wave actually was. There were definitely some good tracks in here, to the point where even some of the more average ones are just kind of, it makes them feel a little bit more average. Our next track is Shroom Ridge from Mario Kart DS. To tell the truth, I did play a lot of Mario Kart 8, or Mario Kart DS, and I still don't entirely remember this track super well. So again, not the best person to ask for like exact comparisons on how this stacks up compared to the original. Mario Kart 8, why do I keep saying Mario Kart 8? Mario Kart DS was always really cool because it had like a mission mode. So you had these different like special conditions and things like that, like collecting coins, I think like driving through rings, and like even racing boss characters like King Goomba from Paper Mario of all things, because that version of King Goomba had just been in Mario 64 DS as a secret. Not a secret, but as a new fight for that version. So yeah, I really can't speak for how accurate this is, but it's fun. I almost feel like that's my stance on the DLC, is like, it's just, a lot of these tracks are just fun, and they're nice to have in the game. I still am really happy with the route they took with just making a ton of DLC courses from Tour, and taking them, or putting them into this game, because this sort of makes it like, the most expansive Mario Kart game, and doesn't divide the player base like making a sequel would. I briefly thought I was able to get through the blue shell with invincibility frames, but they just wore off, so the shell itself didn't hit me, but the explosion did. I almost feel like I'm doing surprisingly well at this game. Like, even at 150cc, I feel like I should be struggling a little bit more. Especially as someone who really didn't play this game much between my original playthrough and, like, trying the DLC. I double-checked, and my original playthrough ended in February 2020, so yeah, over 2 years ago. And it still feels a little bit surreal to be playing Mario Kart for my channel again, just because of how long ago I went through all of the tracks and assumed there would not be any more tracks, yet here we are. And I am really excited to see what else gets added. In general, this stage is fun. The traffic is kind of a nice little obstacle. I feel like there was more traffic on DS though. It almost feels like easier, from what I remember at least, which again isn't a whole lot because my memories of this track from DS are pretty vague. I feel like there's one track from Mario Kart DS that everyone remembers and is absolutely clamoring for and hoping it gets added back into this DLC pass. But time will tell if it actually does. Next up is Sky Garden from Mario Kart Super Circuit. This track is really interesting to me. It's kind of a weaker track, but I actually really like this track for a very specific reason, and that's pure nostalgia. While the game isn't exceptional by any means, Mario Kart Super Circuit was my first Mario Kart. It was also the first Game Boy Advance game I ever owned. I still remember getting a Game Boy Advance in like 2002 or something. It was a long time ago. So like hearing the remixed music and everything, it's nice as someone who grew up with Mario Kart Super Circuit. As a track, it's actually kind of mid-level though. I actually saw a comparison between the actual mini-map of the original and of the Tour/8 Deluxe version, and they actually smoothed out some of the turns. Like there are considerably fewer like really sharp like turns. Like some sections have actually been simplified quite a bit. So as a remake, I feel like this is not one of the most exceptional remakes of a track. I almost feel like for the GBA courses in particular, they tend to fall into two camps of being like unrecognizable, like Cheese Land and Ribbon Land, or like extremely true to the original like Mario Circuit. This one's kind of in the middle because it is kind of simplified, probably again to accommodate for Mario Kart Tour specifically. But I feel like it manages to maintain enough of the original's like general structure to still be like recognizable. So yeah, it's not as like expansive of a remake as like Ribbon Road, but it isn't as like faithful to the originals. Yeah, like Mario Circuit. But again, as a fan of the original, I like the track. Again, I think the music does a lot to carry this track in all honesty. It's just kind of refreshing to hear a version not in like Game Boy Advance MIDI quality. Yeah, it's a very short track too, which makes sense as being a GBA track. It really is interesting seeing like remade tracks like this. You know, like Toad Circuit, for example, being from the 3DS game, I almost feel like less has to be done to bring it up to a modern like standard. But for a Game Boy Advance course, they actually have to put in a lot more effort to like bring it into like a modern setting, if that makes sense. Our next course is Ninja Hideaway, which, because of a weird snafu, this actually doesn't have a label, but this is actually from Mario Kart Tour. A lot of people consider this to be the standout track of the first wave. And I kind of agree. This track is really fascinating, and honestly doesn't feel like a Mario Kart level in a good way. And that's something I was actually thinking about the Paris level in Tokyo Blur. Some of the tour stages feel like they'd be perfectly in place in Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. And that is a compliment, because that game has very unique track design. What I mean by that is there are a couple aspects of Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing and Transformed that allow for some really unique mechanics, like transforming tracks. And I almost feel like this stage, while it doesn't actually transform like some of the others that we've seen from Tour, this actually has a sense of verticality to it that honestly feels like it could be a Sonic stage. Like, it feels like a Mario Kart stage with the design sensibilities of a Sonic level, where you have like an upper path that's faster, and then like a lower path that if you fall down to, isn't as fast. So yeah, it's almost like, yeah, Sonic design philosophy. And I think it's actually really fun. So yeah, for example, we have that moving platform, so we're actually being forced to the lower path. But yeah, this is easily one of the more interesting tracks. I feel like a lot of people's first reactions to this track will be very different than their actual, like, final reactions. And I feel like that was the case for me. Like, I was seeing a lot of praise for it, and then I was like, wow, this is just kind of a confusing mess of a stage when I first played it. But as I started to get used to, like, the weird structure of this stage, I was starting to really, like, mesh with it. Yeah, first impression was like, wow, this is very confusing. I don't know where to go. But in the attempts after that initial impression, I've actually really warmed up to the stage to the point where it is probably one of the standout tracks of this DLC. A lot of people are actually going as far as to say that this is the standout track of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in general, practically. Even though it's from Tour originally, this just stands out that much that some people are saying, like, this is their favorite track from 8. That's why I actually think it's really cool bringing Tour tracks over to 8, because, you know, not everyone's gonna play Mario Kart Tour because of having a phone that can run it, or, you know, not wanting to deal with all the weird microtransactions. So bringing over all of these tracks, these are like new tracks to a lot of people. Like, if you haven't played all these games, like if you haven't played Tour, this is like a new track. And it's actually really cool, and it's really good that it's no longer just, you know, stranded in the mobile game. Which, again, I actually did try Mario Kart Tour recently. I didn't really click with it, partly because I have too many gacha games at the moment. So this one was like, it was like the most expendable one. It wasn't horrible, but I can definitely tell that, yeah, the microtransactions were very aggressive, and I wasn't really a fan of not having, like, traditional controls. So yeah, being able to play these stages in a traditional Mario Kart is honestly really fun. Alright, so we are 2 for 2. The next DLC wave does not have a release date yet, since this just released. I would guess around summer. It could even be like a sudden drop, like around E3 if I had to guess. Like, you know, E3 happens and they're like, new courses available now, kind of a thing. But again, time will tell if that actually happens. Yeah, overall, not a bad start. I'm really happy so far with these courses. But because of the way these courses are being released, I don't know when we'll be back with more Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I definitely do want to show off all the courses. If they are as fun as these courses, even though some of them graphically aren't as, like, polished as, like, main game stages, and some of the tour-specific redesign aspects are a little bit divisive so far, like, specifically Coconut Mall and Choco Mountain seem to be the two major ones that people have issues with the redesigns. I still think these are pretty fun courses, and again, I'm happy to have so much content from Tour in a game that actually has, like, traditional controls and no gotcha microtransactions and all that. But yeah, we will return to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe whenever the next DLC drops. Who knows when that will be. But in the meantime, thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for more Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.